Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Lottie. And this is the Supercast. The Supercast where we talk about all things superhero in our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into this podcast, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, or if you are listening to us on a podcasting platform, do us a solid, leave us a review, 5 stars if you think we deserve it, but whatever you think we warrant. We appreciate all of the feedback from you. And hey, we are heading so close to the end of the year holidays. We got Christmas coming up. Hollywood's sort of winding down, but the strike is officially over. The actors are signed their contract and they're back to work, and that's great. And we're seeing all sorts of stuff moving on different fronts. Things are moving around. It's a good time to be a superhero fan, even though we are in a bit of a lull while we wait for Aquaman to arrive in theaters at the end of the year. So, but before we talk about all of that, Lottie, my friend, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, been up to anything nerdy lately besides Spider-Man 2 withdrawals?
I've been playing Resident Evil, and I've gotten back into. This is not really nerdy, but something I've been doing. I've gotten back into an old hobby that I like, and people think it's weird. I enjoy watching really bad movies. You ever watched a movie that is so bad that it's entertaining? Like it's
All the time.
that bad, and you're just I'm watching one with Michael B. Jordan, and it's called 451. They live in like a future.
Fahrenheit 451. Yes, based on the book.
That movie is so.
I think it was a Max original, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my God, I am enjoying how awful it is. It's just making me laugh.
That's unfortunate because the book it's based on is considered a dystopian sci-fi classic. So
no, that's what I know. That's why when I'm watching it, I'm like, I know there was a good story behind this, but my God.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking. I never did watch that, but I did think to myself, I should see this, and then I never found a good reason to watch it. Well, I mean, cool. I yes, watching bad movies. I did that a ton because I'm a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's a show that I watched very religiously as a teen, and I've watched recently on their 13th season. But also, I don't know if you've ever heard of this channel called Double Toasted, but they do bad movie reviews, and it's just a bunch of black dudes sitting around trashing on shitty movies and just like joking on it. I love it. I love crappy movies. I could watch those anytime rather than watching actual good stuff. So anyway, but I wasn't watching bad movies this last week. I was finished binge watching the first season of Silo on Apple TV. That's really good. It is a sci-fi show. That's my nerdy thing, and I'm looking to just binge watch the hell out of all sorts of Christmas stuff this week and the weeks leading up to Christmas. So anyway, we're here to talk about superhero stuff, and we got plenty to talk about this week. We got some good news. Post-strike, lots of stuff is pouring in. Stuff like Spider-Man Noir. Yes, it's a real thing that was announced, and it's actually going forward at Amazon Prime Video, and it gets a showrunner with a pretty good superhero pedigree. We're going to talk about that briefly. Disney has thrown up the white flag. It surrenders. It's given up on the Marvels. And what does that mean for Marvel Studios? Iman Vellani. We're going to have another segment of Protect Her at All Costs, where she talks about who she thinks Miss Marvel should team up with in the MCU. Andrew Garfield, as the kids say, is based, talking about Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, he had a interesting opinion about the recent Spider-Man movie. And what's the internet talking about in response? Ryan Reynolds is pleading with Scoopers to leave Deadpool 3 alone and we'll see what his words were and how we feel about it. Kevin Feige talks about the possibility of Robert Downey Jr. returning as Iron Man in the MCU. And then finally, we're going to review The Boys Season 4 trailer that dropped this last week. And let's just say, if you thought Gen V was over the top, I'm pretty sure you have not seen anything yet. So anyway, that's everything we're going to talk about. So, Lottie, you ready to get into this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Lottie, Sony, they kind of have this deal with Amazon, and they're planning to bring Spider-Verse or Spider-Man universe shows to Amazon, for streaming, exclusivity. And so one of those things that they were talking about was Silk Spider Society, which is, a female that has, Peter Parker's similar powers and all. You have to know the comics, but let's just say a female web slinger. But also, surprisingly, they mentioned a Spider-Man Noir show. And, I was just like, well, that sounds cool. Is it animated? Nope, live action? Okay. I guess they're going to do that thing for real. Let me just say, somewhat skeptical about them being able to pull off Spider-Man in a TV format. But, The Boys exists, and, the MCU shows exist, and Amazon's got plenty of money. Maybe it'll be all good. Whatever. But Spider-Man Noir is a lot more real now because they have a co-showrunner in the person of Steve Lightfoot. And Lottie, you might ask yourself, who's Steve Lightfoot? Lottie, do you know who Steve Lightfoot is? Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah, yes, like most writers, no one knows who the fuck they are. And yet they're the ones that are, making your, all these things possible. Well, Steve Lightfoot has a really good pedigree because he was the showrunner on the Punisher Netflix show, which I haven't watched it. Yes, I'm a bad nerd, comic book nerd, but I haven't watched it, but I've heard nothing but good things about the Punisher TV show. Lottie, have you seen the Punisher Netflix show?
I haven't been able to see any of the Netflix shows. I've seen episodes, but actually sit down and watch it, no, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we're, that's a demerit against us on our nerd cards. But even the likes of Eminem, when they canceled Punisher, Eminem got on social media, was like, how dare you people cancel this great show? So, people tend to, like, if you talk about the Netflix shows, the top three are Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and then Punisher. And so, and also I heard it, Punisher was hella brutal, like super R-rated. And we also happen to know that in the Spider-Verse, canon, I guess you could say, that actually Spider-Man Noir had a gun and he was a lot more brutal and he was more of a, like, old school, 1930s hero where he had no problem blowing people away and beating the shit out of people that are just snatching purses. So this is an interesting get, I think. But Lottie, just knowing this pedigree of this guy, that what he's done, does this excite you? Are you? And also the other news that they share with this, Peter Parker is not Spider-Man Noir. It's another person. But does any of this news excite you about this project?
Oh yeah, it definitely does. If this guy was involved with the Netflix Marvel shows, which were considered some of the best Marvel shows that were made, yeah, it's like to see that he can make Noir, and specifically the one that he did make, and we all know how Noir is pretty much a grittier, dark and grittier Spider-Man. I am definitely interested in seeing this whenever it hits Amazon Prime.
Does it bother you that it's not Peter Parker? Because I know
the guy who's
canonically within the comics, it is Peter Parker, just like in a different era and everything. But like they're saying that that's not who this is.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Spider-Man Noir is not Spider-Man. Who cares?
Right. does it bother you that it probably like 99% sure it won't be Nicolas Cage?
All I, uh, if anybody's upset that Spider-Man Noir is not Peter Parker, go. I don't even know what to say. Touch grass is not even good enough because that's not fucking Spider-Man. That is a alternate dimension Spider-Man. It's like being mad that fucking Miles Morales is not Peter Parker. What? Yes, duh.
I,
Ugh.
I'm interested that they decided that yeah, we're doing live action shit on TV with Spider-Man. Yeah, with the last time there's a
This is the if you're going to do that, this is the Spider-Man to do it.
yeah. Well, I
Because
think yeah, I think they have plenty of room to do fun stuff with it, and to be a little more grounded than maybe because he's not going to have super technology or anything. He's going to have a gun, and I'm assuming organic webs because I doubt he can make his own webs. But he's got a trench coat. I mean, like this will be a lot more practical, I think, than maybe another one might be. But no Nicolas Cage for the voice, so that sucks. So either way, I'm excited. Like I didn't really think this was going to be a real thing. I just kind of put it to the side and I was like, yeah, maybe they'll do something with this, but probably it's going to get, it's not going to get greenlit, but they're doing something. So we're going to keep an eye on this and definitely let you guys know what we think about it. When we see, I'm assuming behind the scenes or trailer or something like that, we'll let you know what we think about it. So Lottie, bad news. Well, this isn't bad news. This is expected news. But Disney, they give up. Mickey said, "Oh no," and he's waving the little white flag like you see in the cartoons on the Marvels, which is expected to end its theatrical run. Less than $200 million. It is the worst box office showing for the MCU of all time. Of any MCU movie, it is an unmitigated failure. But is it as we said, is it an unexpected failure? I don't think so, but definitely a failure. As terms of the MCU and our expectations of what the MCU can do. And, critically, I think it did fine, but just the audience had never found its way. And so they give up. They're saying they're not going to report any more box office for it at all. Lottie, I mean, we saw this coming, but does this mean anything at all to the MCU, to Marvel, to anything that they're doing, their plans going forward? What do you think?
I will repeat what I've been telling people for the last 3 to 4 months. Superhero fatigue is real. It's real and it's here. People are no longer interested in superhero movies like they think they are. The only people that are going to watch these movies now are the fans. Spending any more than $150 million on a superhero movie at this point is suicide. Just don't do it. If the movie is going to end up costing more than what you think is going to cost, just cancel it. Don't even come out with it. Because at this point...
You saying Batgirl that shit?
Yeah. Because
no.
No, I'm not saying like the movie's almost done. But if you're like let's say 25 to 50% done and it's looking like you're about to go way over budget, just end it. Because at this point, this movie may not make back its budget. That is ridiculous. This movie may not even make back its budget. It can't even pay the bill that it just had for just to make the movie. I'm not saying if the movie's 90 or 100% done, cancel it. I'm saying if you're about 30 to about 40% and you're like, ooh, we've already hit that budget, man. Because at this point, you're better eating that loss than coming out with it, because it's just these movies are just not making you money anymore, man.
Yeah.
And it's just the facts. It's like I was telling somebody, making $500 million in the box office for a superhero movie is going to be a win now. It's the way it is. If you're not Spider-Man, Superman, and Batman, to expect $1 billion, you're just full of yourself at this point.
Right.
That like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 didn't make $1 billion. And people were telling everybody to go see. Word of mouth of that movie was on fire. And that movie didn't make $1 billion. That movie should have been a critical tale. I mean, the Marvels has been done for over a year, so they had to release it. You know what I mean? But just moving forward, I'm sorry. You can. They need to either start changing, because they wanted to go with a lot of the cosmic stuff. And that needs to be sat down on the table. Because if you're going to be using a lot of CGI and stuff like that, nah. You need to what's it called? The Batman this stuff, because if the Batman was a 3-hour movie and it was only $175 million, you're gonna have to look into how the hell DC did that, because that's what you're gonna have to start looking at. Because man, I mean, it's I mean, even with I was telling some people, it's not even when it comes to Disney, it's not even their superhero movie, it's their animation too. Hey, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was $100 million.
Yeah.
All these Disney Pixar movies are like 250 million.
I mean,
You're gonna have to
maybe
cut
not that
back.
much, but I think, and if y'all want to know what my thoughts are on this not superhero movie, but it is, speaking to what you're talking about, the movie Wish that just came out, and it is a box office failure, and for good reason. Even though I liked it well enough, but it's a failure for a reason. But you're right. This is coming along at a time when good's not good enough anymore. That's just the truth. I've been sort of asking you this question on and off for the better part of like the last 3 to 4 months. But why isn't good enough? Because The Marvels is a good movie. It really is. So was The Flash. The Flash is a good movie. What was this? Shazam 2, good movie. Blue Beetle, good movie. You saw Blue Beetle, right? Good. What, did it knock your socks off? No, but it was good. And good's not good enough anymore. And that's the thing about as you're saying, budgets. If good's not good enough anymore, then you either have to slash budgets, or you need to tighten scripts up so fucking much that there ain't no room for failure. Like you're gonna, writers are gonna, we just had a writer's strike. Writers are gonna be a hell of a lot more important. Not just because, and this also speaks sort of to the Marvel method of making movies. Is can't be any more of this. We'll fix it in post bullshit. It better be tight, and Bob Iger's talking about that too. That it's got to be right before they ever start spending money on making it. And so it's going to be the right writers' rooms, or writer retreats, or picking the right person to write their movies, especially for superhero movies, has got to be paramount. And you know what's bad is Sony and DC have only made this worse. If the MCU, let's say the MCU, instead of being a juggernaut, was instead just a success. Not a juggernaut, just a success. Which means that, 60% of the movies, 50% of the movies are pretty good. Maybe 10% are, S tier, and then the rest of them are, B, C, D tier or whatever. You know, so if that's the case, if Marvel Studios has been just, you know, somewhat, you know, mostly successful, but they've got duds, you know, they got 7, 8 duds, and, you know, 6, 7, 8 mid tier, and then there's a few really great ones. Combine that with what Sony's done, and it's you know, up and down success rate with its Spider-Man stuff. The Fox,
well, here's the one thing
I'm saying the Fox universe sort of imploding on itself towards the end, and the DC universe really kind of stalling out. This thing you call superhero fatigue would have set in years ago, because it's not. It's not about whether or not people are tired of superheroes. They're tired of just okay movies and bad movies.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that I will just say about Sony with their movies that I don't, you know, some people, because like I had this, someone talked about this with me. They're like, well, what about Sony movies? If you look at the budget of their movies, Sony made their money back with Morbius. They made their money, you know what I mean? Because Morbius only cost, I think, 90 million. They made their money back. It's Sony, even though Morbius, people call it a box office failure, it actually wasn't, because it made its money back. It's the fact that, like, I'm just saying is that the amount of superhero movies is not a bad thing. You can because remember, like I was just talking about this with my friend earlier today. Like, some people are telling me, they're like, oh, there's just so many superhero movies. Well, in the 2010s, there were so many damn teen novel movies. God dang, every freaking book was turned into a teen novel. But their budgets weren't that high. DC and Disney, I mean, Warner Brothers and Disney needs to freaking get through their skull. Stop spending $200 million plus on this shit.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Sony's spending 75, 90 million. So yeah, even though people are memeing Morbius for making what, 300 million, they made their money back. They're like,
no, it didn't even make that. Worldwide,
how much it made?
It made $167 million. It didn't even crack 200.
Oh, they didn't even. Oh,
no,
never mind. Well,
no, Morbius was a failure. Any of these, any of these movies are. Yeah, I mean,
that's a failure. That's a failure. Yeah, I agree.
But the point here being, to circle back around to the Marvels, I don't think this actually changes what Marvel is going to do story wise, because obviously, you know, at the end of the movie, there's some setup for multiverse shenanigans, and Kang Dynasty obviously is going to happen because they've hired a writer for it. Secret Wars is going to happen. I don't think this changes the plan, and I honestly think that they expected a poor showing, you know, because this, as you said, the movie's been done for a year, and this year is so much different than last year. Like, it just across the board, as you were saying about, you know, Guardians not doing as well as it should have. Last year, I think this movie comes out and does better because it's not knocked on by Quantumania, you know, the sort of fizzling. It doesn't have the follow-on effects of other superhero movies and other blockbusters. It is just superhero movies. Indiana Jones didn't do well, and I'm telling you, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was a good movie. Fast 10 didn't do well. Mission Impossible didn't do well. This year is not as I mean, I think superheroes movies are cooling off, but I'm telling you, this has been a box office disaster year for almost everybody, except for low budget horror movies and Oppenheimer and Barbie. Every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is an excellent movie, and it didn't do shit. So
this is what I'll say about Fast 10. Fast 10 actually did well, but the problem is its budget was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Its budget was $350 million. That's why it didn't do well, because Vin Diesel, you were dumb to have that big ass budget.
Well, you're speaking well to the keeping budgets in line. This is, again, my take on this is that the writers, first of all, they need to be top notch. Second of all, they need to be paid really well, because it's pretty clear to me that the problem that all of these superhero movies that are failing are having is the writing. Is the writing? It's not directing. It's not direct. I don't think it's the direction. I don't even think it's the CG. Wonky CG won't mean shit if the story's good. I think it's the thing is that these stories, some of them are half baked, some of them are derivative as fuck, some of them don't seem to be doing anything except setting up the next fucking movie, and they're losing sight of the fact that you have to tell a good self-contained one movie story in every single movie, and you can do the connective tissue afterwards. But this shit has got to be immediate. And as much as I had a great time with the Marvels. I thought it was very fun, good movie, and good performances. But boy, it was thin as shit on plot. I mean, it was basic. It was, and as again, I praised the movie. I think people saying that it's horrible are wrong. But in terms of its villain and its plot, not a whole lot there. Not just really not. So, it's more about the characters and what they're doing rather than any of the actual like ramification for the MCU. So either way, I could go on and on. You could, listen to my review of it if you really want to know everything I have to say about it. But the point is, it's done. Expect to see it on Disney Plus within, I'll say by the end of January. That's I figure. So we'll let you guys know when it hits Disney Plus. So this is a quick one, and this was not on the list. I forgot about it, but I want to mention it. Lottie, I'm sorry, man. If you wanted to see Wilson Fisk and Daredevil fight in a hallway this coming year, it's sorry, it's not happening. It's been moved to 2025, my friend. Are you surprised by that at all?
No. No.
No one should be surprised. Saddened, yes, but not surprised, because we heard about all the scrapping things and restarting and all that other stuff. But yeah, that seems to be a thing that's happening. In fact, it's pretty clear. Marvel, they are clearing the decks. Deadpool's the only movie coming out next year. I think Agatha Coven of Chaos is another one that got confirmed to be for 2024. And I want to say there was one more show. Oh yeah, we're getting Echo in January. So next year, I think there are 4, maybe 5 Marvel properties that are, and 3, or I think it's 4. Only 3, and 3 of them are going to be on Disney Plus. So Lottie, do you feel like this is smart on their part to do?
Yes. We space this stuff out and make it good, man.
Don't just make it. They can't just make it good. That shit's over. That hitting a single in baseball terms, that shit's over. Their next, they've already finished these other projects. So What If is coming out and it's going to be what it is. What is it? Echo, it's done. We're gonna watch it and that's going to be what it is. But everything else, Agatha, and was Deadpool, they have got to fucking kill. I'm sorry that at this point, Marvel, they have got to absolutely get a home run. Deadpool is the most likely one to be the home run, but between the two of those they better kill, because what other reason? You got to get people needing a reason to come back to see Marvel, and especially if you're going to have only one Marvel movie next year. It better be the best damn thing. I'm just saying. So anyway, we'll talk more about Daredevil if we find out more information. So, Lottie, it's time for, this is not going to be a weekly segment, but anytime something relevant comes up, we're going to do this segment, just because this show, as I said, officially stands Iman Vellani, because she is a super fan. She's one of us, and she's living the damn dream. Playing Kamala Khan in the MCU, like literally, she manifested her destiny from going as Kamala Khan for Halloween one year to actually being her on the big screen. So we stand Iman Vellani, and this she had something to say because people are asking her, like in interviews, you know, about Kamala Khan, and you know, she's a huge MCU fan, and you know, what does she think they need to do to get back on track, and so forth and so on. Well, one of the things they asked her at the direct, they asked her, you know, you're putting together, you know, Kamala Khan is putting together the Young Avengers. Well, you know, who should she, you know, should she go and ask to join? You know, who do you want to see her team up with? And of course, she said the most perfect thing possible, which is why, again, we must protect this young lady at all costs. She said she definitely wants to see Spider-Man and Kamala Khan in a team up. And I'm just like, well, obviously, I mean, they're basically this. I mean, she's, as I constantly say, is a Spider-Man archetype character. And of course, Tom Holland, I've said before, he's my favorite Spider-Man. This is fucking perfect. I absolutely 100% agree with her. So, Lottie, and also she said she would love to see the new Nova, not Richard Rider, but Sam Alexander from the most recent comics, Nova, to join up and be part of the Young Avengers. So, Lottie, you heard her. She's a comics nerd. She knows what's up. What do you think about her comments about who Kamala Khan should team up with?
Oh, no, she's definitely. I'm down with what she's saying, but she's definitely asking for too much. She wants Nova too. Mm-mm.
Oh, this actually, and let me tell you, let me remind everyone that when they were I think they were filming the Marvels and no, was it the Marvels or Miss Marvel? Spider-Man No Way Home was also filming on the soundstage next door, so she actually met Tom Holland and they talked and everything like that. So this could look in my mental, you know, canon, as far as I'm concerned, you know, Miss Marvel and Spider-Man have teamed up already, you know, in our world. So we need to see it happen in the real, you know, in the MCU. This is easy talk. He's 18, she's 16. You know, in the comics, she and Miles Morales are, and she also mentioned Miles Morales too. She and Miles Morales are good friends, you know, and they team up, and you know, because they obviously, she lives in Jersey, he lives in New York. They team up all the time. Like, this is a no-brainer. But you're right. Tom Holland, they gonna need a bag to get that man to show up. You know,
and then
it takes an act of Congress to get him to be in anything in the MCU.
Yeah, and then don't forget Sony too. That's a lot.
It would be dope though if because they're talking about Spider-Man 4 and trying to figure. It'd be dope if she showed up and cameoed in that shit though. Like,
I mean, if they're making Spider-Man 4, she will definitely.
She's, you know what?
Most likely.
Actually, I've decided this is the way. This is what I want. Remember how Wong was showing up in every fucking thing in Phase 4?
Oh,
right? He was no. Kamala Khan should show up in everything. It's basically it's okay. It's perfect. Like, trust me. I know you haven't seen the Marvels yet, but you've seen the Miss Marvel show. And she, you know, everything you liked about her in that, she's that, and then some in the Marvels. And I'm telling you, we need that energy in the MCU, man. We need that. Like, if anything's gonna bring people back, something like, you need that kind of joy and energy into the MCU. And also somebody to keep everything, you know, just like, oh yeah, I saw her in that movie, and then she showed up in Spider-Man, and she showed up in the, you know, the what, hell, if she showed up in Thunderbolts, just cause. Anyway, I'm telling you, she's a nerd. She's a comic book nerd, man. We're lucky that she sort of represents us in the MCU, I think. So we must protect her at all costs. Anyway, I'm sure she'll have some more things to share, and we'll talk about those then. Hey, speaking of Spider-Man, Lottie, this is for you. Actually, this is for Spider-Man fans everywhere. Our favorite fibbing Spider-Man that swore for a year and a half that he wasn't going to be in No Way Home. You know, for I don't know why, but in London he was at a special fan screening of Across the Spider-Verse, and it was talking with like some of the people that worked on it, like in a interview, Q&A afterwards, and said the most based thing that I think I've ever heard any of the Spider people say, including Tom Holland, who's my dog. But he was, he was introducing the people, and he said he called Across the Spider-Verse a masterpiece of animation, and then he went on, right afterward and said a masterpiece of cinema. Period. Lottie, obviously, you know how we feel about this movie and everything, and the internet, of course, is they're just like they're going all crazy about this right now. The nerd internet. Lottie, I want to hear what you have to say. Is this man, is he spitting facts, or is this cap?
You know that meme of the black guy with the big goggle glasses that goes like, "He ain't lying."
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's
He's,
from Coming
he's
to America, but yes.
he's not lying. He's not lying. I mean, we all saw that movie. I was buzzing. I was buzzing when I got to the theater. I was like, "What did I just watch?" I absolutely loved Across the Spider Verse. I cannot wait until Beyond the Spider Verse. And it just Spider Man in general. Spoiler alert! Just to let you know, you kind of already got to guess what my best of list. Spider Man in general this year has been amazing, but that was, in my opinion, the second best thing Spider Man that came out this year, and the only reason is because the video game was just that amazing. But yeah, I freaking love that movie, and he's not wrong. It was a masterpiece. Absolutely, I barely remember my gripes of that movie. I think I need to go watch it again to see if I had any gripes. If I had any gripes with it, but yeah, I absolutely enjoyed that movie, and I'm happy that other people like him are just like calling out the stuff and saying, "Hey, it's not just a good animated movie. It's just a good movie. Go watch it, you boring fucks."
Yeah, you oh, animation isn't real cinema. Shut the hell up. I every time someone says that, all I have to say is Spirited Away, bitch. Like, shut the hell. Not and Spirited Away isn't even the best Miyazaki film, but anybody who says with a straight face, and I hate it even more, people like, oh, it's just a superhero film. Wait, man, if you know all the shit that Miles goes through in those movies, do you understand what's happening? Like this, there's way more to it than this swinging around beating stuff. Honestly, Spider-Verse, the two Spider-Verse movies, take away the web swinging or whatever, the superheroics, and just have it be about this kid who runs across a bunch of people who he has unintentional, commonalities with, and they're just sort of trying to steer him right about how to navigate the world. And he's got family stuff going on too. I mean, like, that's good drama. And also, by the way, Andrew Garfield, he's not my favorite Spider-Man, but I think I like him better than Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I really like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. And he is an outright great actor. Like no denying it. I defy anyone to tell me that he's a bad actor. It's a lie. He's a great actor. And he seems to understand that it's not just, you don't just have to be physically present. You can voice act. The animators know good drama and everything like that. And just to give props to an animated movie like this, it's nice to hear. I can't wait until more of these old, and I'm calling them old. It's not just all old people, but older, movie fans that are stuck in this stupid ass idea that only good movies involve live action. Well, I can't wait till they go away, so that we can enjoy all movies, as quote cinema, and not just the ones that these gatekeepers say are. So good. Yeah, as they say, as the kids say, he's based. So Andrew Garfield, what do they say? Common Andrew Garfield W. So anyway, Andrew has more good things to say. We're going to talk about that in the future. Let's move on to another Marvel thing. And this is really, I think this is something important for us as commentators, podcasters, what have you, about superhero things. And we've been we haven't really talked about these so much, but we have in the past talked a lot about behind the scenes, photos of different shows. Well, Ryan Reynolds kind of went on social media and just kind of posted. He wasn't being mean or anything. He was just like, "Hey, look, you guys, we're filming this Deadpool 3. We're trying to make the best thing possible with practical sets and outside, and people with telephoto lenses are pretty much kind of spoiling what's going on, and they're unfinished shots. They're not even good shots. They're unfinished shots, and maybe they're sort of taking away the magic from." People wanting to enjoy this, and we understand you guys are excited and everything, and we love working on this, but just maybe don't do that. And by the way, Lottie, is that not the most Canadian way to say, bitch, stop? Am I wrong? It's like, could you, maybe, stop taking the pictures, Like, he's just doing, it's like that. I hear it. But it was look, he wasn't being mean. It's just like, hey, you guys are you sort of spoiling the magic for people, and just maybe chill out. Wait until more official stuff comes out. I know you guys, want to get a scoop or whatever, but just chill. So, and this sort of sparked a bit of a conversation online. I've seen people sort of being like, yeah, fuck the scoopers. And I don't feel like that way, but I mean, I get it. It's stuff for us to talk about, but I think we've sort of veered away from behind the scenes pictures in the last year, I think. So anyway, that being said, Lottie, I mean, how do you feel about what he has to say? Do you agree with him? I mean, what do you think?
I don't get why people want to ruin something. Why people want something like a movie, a TV show, or like a video game to be ruined. They want to get the inside scoop of what's going to happen. I don't understand that one. I can understand people who want to get the inside scoop of a product, of the PS5, because it's something that you're going to buy and own for years. But a movie, I don't get it. Guys, you're most of these people are probably doing the scooping and leaking and keeping up with this information are probably around our age. You can wait for the movie to come out, guys. It's not. I honestly don't get it. I'm one of those people that I'm like you. One trailer, I'm good. I don't care to know anymore. Some people will be like, "Did you see that release date trailer of this game?" I'm like, the game comes out tomorrow. Why do I need to see another trailer?
Right.
Or they're like, "Did you hear the rumor about this person might be in the movie?" Like, what? Let's just watch it.
And as fans, especially as fans that are plugged into these things, and also as fans who have sort of trained Google and other sites we're on to sort of feed us this shit, it's hard to avoid some of it. And for us, like I said, we make a whole podcast about talking about superhero and stuff in media. So yeah, we are sort of plugged into that sort of thing. But like I said, it has been less important to talk about behind the scenes pictures and stuff lately that aren't directly from, a trade or from the production itself. I'm like, production still is cool, but I've been seeing all this Deadpool stuff, and I was like, and they spoiled that somebody was going to be in there, and that they spoiled the death of that person. Like, I'm not even going to say who it is right now. It's just a character
that stuff because that is honestly one of the things why I've not gotten into. I've trained YouTube. I've trained my YouTube, my Google, all my stuff to just basically not send me spoilers anymore, because that stuff like that will kind of make me mad. because it will make me not want to watch. Like some people don't realize that you destroy people wanting to watch the movie by doing that. And I understand there's people that are excited and they want to be the first one to come out with this new information, but guys, it is not that important. I just hope that people understand that it's not as important as you think it is. It eventually this is my warning to people who like do this as a living and have fun. It's not going to be as big as you think. Enjoy it now, but do not think you can make a living off of it
Well, I
because
mean,
it's eventually.
some people that is their part of their whole job, I guess you could say, is scooping. They have people on that contact them or that they know that are inside these studios, and they get inside information. Like, I follow some of them, but they aren't providing pictures. They just have people on the inside saying this is happening or that is happening or whatever. And sometimes it's true and sometimes it isn't. The people he's talking about are folks who are camped out around where the
That's what
production is.
those are the people that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the people who are like, because leakers, there's a difference between a scooper and a leaker. A leaker is a part of the industry because, like you said, there are people who are literally a leaker. Let me just tell you something. Like you just said, so I could just spoil anybody. Leakers are not doing this stuff because they're top spies. There is literally a super big, like sometimes, guys, the source that your favorite leaker is Kevin Feige himself. Yes. He's purposely leaking that stuff out on purpose. It's not that it accidentally got out. They're doing that on purpose, guys. That's different. Leakers are different. But the guy who's like, let me zoom in at 1,000 span to see this Wolverine fight. Come on, man. Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's look, I get it, and people will pay for that, but it's just, I mean, I like that he wasn't just like, he didn't call any names or anything. He's just like, hey, just chill out, man. Like, for real, it's you're just sort of ruining it for people. And I don't necessarily disagree with him. I'm just not as invested, but he's also deep into making a movie, and he really obviously is going to be really proud of it and wants everyone to get the most out of it. So I can see where he's coming from, and I think I can respect that. I think as far as what we do here, I'm not terribly interested in all of that stuff. So that's we're not going to be focusing on that sort of thing in the future anyway. We want tangible shit, not stuff that may be cut from the movie in the first damn place. So either way, cool. It was cool of him though to just kind of take the high road with it, and maybe some people will listen. We'll see. So we're staying on Marvel, but this time it's from the head honcho himself. And people. This was in an article about Robert Downey Jr., but we're just going to talk about what Feige had to say about RDJ. And will he come back to be, Tony Stark again in the MCU? I'm going to just read the quote. We are going to keep that moment and not touch that moment again. We all worked very hard for many years to get to that, and we would never want to magically undo it in any way. He said more things than that. I mean, it's a good little article kind of praising Robert Downey Jr. and everything like that. But the snap, he's saying we're not going to see that. We're not going to see them do anything to undo that. Lottie, just listen. You heard what I just read it out to you. You read it yourself. Does that mean that Robert Downey Jr. will not come back and reprise his role as Tony Stark in the MCU?
You know what that means? That is a machine gun of Cap. That man is coming back, man. You can just stop it. He's coming back.
They're gonna, you know what? They're gonna use the multiverse to get around everything he just said. Because look what he said. We're gonna keep that moment and not touch that moment again. Right? We all worked very hard for many years to get that. We will never want to matter. Does that in any way say he will not be back?
They can easily bring him back because Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man could be alive in the universe where the X-Men are. I mean, it's me. Like I said, machine gun levels of Cap. This is Gatling gun Cap. Like, come on, man. No one believes you. I'm pretty sure the person that interviewed you had that damn meme. You know that meme, like, yeah, right face, like, get the fuck out of here.
That's the great thing is that's excellent. That is some excellent executive talk. Like, I believe when he says we're not going to do that, I believe him. Tony Stark in the mainline MCU is dead and is not coming back. In the mainline MCU, we literally have seen other alternate universes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know, hell, we saw in Multiverse of Madness, we saw an Iron Man there, right? Because he wasn't in their version of Endgame. Iron Man didn't die, right?
Yeah.
It's because Strange Supreme, did a bunch of hoodoo, went overboard, and they had to kill him. So we already know that there's a Tony Stark alive in many other alternate universes. So this is literally he's answering a question that wasn't asked, right? I'm sure that I didn't see what the question was. I feel like the question was, is Robert Downey Jr. coming back to be Iron Man? And he's like, well, that was a special moment. We're just not going to undo that. That is not an answer to the fucking question, man. At no point did he say no. He just said, we're not undoing the snap. Or undoing the death of Tony Stark in the mainline MCU. Like, we're not... Look, that shit may sell to Rando McRanderson that occasionally goes to see those good old superhero flicks at the multiplex. They don't fly with us. You can't just be saying shit like that and acting like that's definitive. That ain't definitive. Nothing is definitive about that. It's just like last week when Chris Evans was like, oh, I just want to preserve, that's a very near and dear to my heart. I couldn't just come back. Man, shut up. Your ass will show up. Don't give me that. And I love you. I love both those guys. I'm just saying, like, come on. We don't... What did you say? Gatling gun level Cap?
Gatling gun. I'm talking about it is. They're just mowing people down with that Cap.
So, oh my God. Anyway, Feige, we don't believe you.
No.
Hell, let the next two MCU movies tank. They're gonna be like, Avengers Assemble. No, it's this time Captain America gonna say it loud. He gonna say it loud enough for everybody to hear because they know this. We gotta save the fucking ship. So,
break glass scenario.
Basically. Like, I thought Iron Man was dead. Well, see, what really had happened was, what you didn't see was...
what you didn't see was he had a full body replacement. That was a scroll.
See, what you didn't see was when Ant-Man had did this thing, and then, like, it was a scroll and all that other stuff, and at the last minute, and then he back. That's going to be it. So... All right, Kevin Feige, we believe you. You can't see me. I'm winking real hard. I believe you. Anyway, we'll let you guys know when Robert Downey Jr. is coming back, and we'll talk about it then. Finally, Lottie, we just finished watching Gen V. Like, I feel like Gen V, we're just like, man, that ended so crazy. Like, what are they gonna even do? And that Homelander guy, man, he's kind of a dick. He's you know what? Not a nice guy, Lottie. That Homelander guy needs some home training. So we're like, man, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see just whenever The Boys season 4 comes out, well, bam, they just they smacked us across the face with it, like the prehensile dick from that one soup in The Boys, with a season 4 trailer, and it is some shit. Lottie, I was saying before we got on, but like in this trailer, a lot of things are going on. A lot of very disturbing things that remind me that I don't want to live in this fictional world where there are superheroes. But it appears to me that Homelander, he's just winning. My man he's just taking W's left, right, and center. Nobody is taking no L's. And, they're inciting riots and shit. And there's liberals versus conservative shit, because that's what it is. Homelander versus Starlight. That's what that shit is. And Victoria Newman might be president, and there's a girl with snakes in her mouth or something like that. Shit is crazy. Lottie, this trailer was crazy. And it ends with Homelander drenched in, I'm going to assume, strawberry jam. Maybe he was at the Wonka factory and fell into a vat or something. But he's very satisfied while he was covered in that what appeared to be jelly, but could be something else. So what did you think about this trailer?
What is with The Boys having Homelander just sit down and just stare? Haven't you noticed that's like the new thing?
Let me just say, Anthony Starr, I've never heard his name before in my life before The Boys. My God, he is the fact that he has not gotten an Emmy or been nominated is some bullshit. That I've rarely it's rare that I watch anything where I am so uncomfortable when one character is on the screen. When he's on the screen, I'm just like, oh God, like, just please go. Like, I just want to. It's like when I'm watching a horror movie and I know a jump scare is coming. I'm just like, oh, come on, just do it. Like, to stop holding me in suspense that you're gonna murder someone. Just either do it or leave the room. That Anthony Starr is, and he looks like he's just like, yep, I'm doubling down on that shit this season. So if you couldn't get enough of me last time, if last time I made your stomach twist up in knots, boy, you are in for a treat. Lottie, God,
because I just did it because some people are. I looked at the comments. Some people are like, "We're getting season 4 this quickly." I saw weren't they like? Didn't like as soon as they got done filming season 3, they started season 4.
Yeah,
like,
but they're saying that this quickly. We saw season 3 last year.
Yeah,
not this year. Y'all, the Gen V got y'all's head messed up. We didn't see season 3 was last fall. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's gonna be almost 14, 15, 16 months. And in fact, they didn't even put a date on this. We don't know when this could be 18 months. So like, what y'all talking about is too soon. Shit, get the hell out of here. That's not a real season. It's 8 episodes. Or is it 10 episodes? 8. It's 8 episodes that every 18 months. That what kind of fucking schedule is that? Anyway, I could rant on that. But you were saying about the comments.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see it. I can't wait. I hope our favorite characters from Gen V show up so they can get back at Homelander's bitch ass and now his fuck ass son too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like, it's like they were like, hey, remember that movie Brightburn? Well, what if Brightburn had a fucking dad? And I was like, and his dad sucked too. And I was like, God damn it. Like, now there's 2 of these bitches. God, thank God Marie Moreau is in this bitch. Because, like I said, Homelander's taking all the... It's like watching Game of Thrones. That's the closest thing I could say. Every time in Game of Thrones, you'd sit there and be like, are the bad guys ever gonna fucking lose? Like, when are they... Homelander literally shot a dude's face off, and he's at large doing what? Like they're not even slapping him on the wrist. The man's running for fucking president. What? Or not president, but you know what I'm saying? He's like, how the fuck? What? This world sucks. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't wait, but every time I watch, like watching Gen V just queued me up for like, oh, okay, we're doing that thing where being a good person just gets you murdered or locked up, and being a bad guy gets you everything in the world. And I'm like, all right, enough of the damn Trump allegories, god damn it. Like, can he lose at some point? Anytime. And also Butcher's apparently Butcher's dying, so anyway, I know I'm sounding negative. No, this shit is gonna be awesome. I'm just like, man, it is depressing. Like, I need to go watch My Adventures with Superman so I can get some kind of fucking optimism back, damn it.
Wow.
Am I wrong? This shit is like watching this show, I love it. It's super dramatic, and you know, but throughout every season, the boys are just like, they are boxed in, beat up, harassed, and at no point whenever they finally get one over on a soup, it's like not even one that fucking matters. Oh no, they got the deep. Well, who cares? The deep is who gives a fuck about the deep? Have you ever seen the deep punch a hole through anybody's chest? No. He's fucking he's fucking an octopus. That's it.
Oh my god. Why did they bring that
back?
You know,
to remind you, I think they always be like, oh man, this is sympathetic. Like, this guy, he's just going through some things. And then they just remind you, like, nah, he's shitty. You know, A-Train, he's going, no, he's just shitty. All of them suck. They all need to fucking die. Like, Homeland, I just want Homelander to laser all of them and then laser himself in the chest. So, anyway, I thought it was a really good trailer. I can't wait for the next trailer and for this season. So, anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts on that one, and all of our thoughts on all of our news for this week. But I'm sure we missed something. We forgot to talk about something you thought was important, or you had something to say about our comments, whatever that the case may be. Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there, and of course you can always hit us up. supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, Super Not Funny Show on Threads, TikTok, and on Instagram. Let us know what you think there. And of course, while you're doing that, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and all of that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see videos just like this. Or if you listen to us on a podcasting platform, leave us a review. 5 stars will be great, but whatever you think we deserve, let us know what you think. And do us a favor also and share this podcast around. Let people know that the Super Not Funny Show is worth listening to, and if they want to talk about superhero things. So we would appreciate that. And of course, I can't do this by myself. I need my good friend Lottie to tell me all about, superhero video games and just like what the people on the streets are really talking about when it comes to the boys. So, Lottie, where can they reach you on social media?
You can always find me on my YouTube and Instagram, which are both Anukinihun. Again, it's Anukinihun, ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. If I just got to 100 subscribers on YouTube, by the way, which is I can't believe it's taking this long, but I am happy. We're back to streaming Drunk Halo, and it's extremely funny. So, anytime you can catch the stream is usually Saturdays at night. You just catch a drink and watch us have stupid conversations and play video games.
Yeah, you guys go definitely check that out. Keep a running tally of how many times Lottie is killed. When you run out of paper, it's okay. Flip it over to the other side. It's fine. So I say that I want to join you guys, and it's gonna be horrible. So I'm just letting you know. Anyway, thanks a lot everyone for joining us on this episode. It's episode 130 of the Supercast. Come back next week. We are gearing up towards the end of this year. We have coming up in the next couple weeks our best of and worst of 2023, our most anticipated of 2024. Just our end of the year goodness as we lead up towards the Christmas and New Year's holidays. So be sure to stick around. Until then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.